Guys, so it's Manectric time. I always thought some say its design looks stupid. I liked it, and it's really fast and strong and has Intimidate, so that's pretty fun too. So yeah, the basic idea of today is going to be Volt Turn, or at least Volt. No, actually no, it will be Volt Turn because we're going to be running U-Turn on Koko. But anyway, I'm going to wait to make sure this goes live, and then we'll get further into what the team's going to look like and how we want to build around this. Okay, we're going live. And as always, there is a delay applied. So I don't get stream sniped, which makes the building portion a little tougher. But, so be it. Better than... It's good to know that it's at least not easy for stream snipers to snipe. If they do, they'll have to run down their timer a bit, and we can kind of play around with that. Okay, I'm still not seeing if it started. It should have started. Okay, looks like we're going. Saw something happen. There we go. Okay, nice. So, let's talk Manectric. Wow, it's showing me an ad immediately. That's irritating. Okay, but anyway, we are indeed live. Let me know... Is this playing? Okay, it is. Let me know how the music sounds. Let me know how I sound. Sorry for the slow startup, but... Anyway, now as for the ability, first let's talk about the one team partner. Oh, someone reminded me to block PMs. Thank you. Appreciate it. Always forget about that. Is this music even sounding? Okay, yeah, looks like it is. Maybe I'm just deaf today. Okay, so let's talk about the necessary, or let's discuss the Manectric in the metagame first. So, now Manectric does have more special attack, but Koko has an ability that boosts electric moves by 1.3. So as far as their stabs go, these are very, very, very similar Pokemon. In fact, Koko actually has superior bulk by a little bit, or slightly worse than Spadef. So they have very similar bulk. So here's the question. This thing doesn't get an item. This thing does. Which of these Pokemon is better? Why would you use it over Tapu Koko? Well, you really wouldn't. There's really not a good reason to use Manectric over Tapu Koko, unless you use both of them. And that's where things get a little interesting. Because, if these two were just Pokemon, right? Like if these two were just, Pokemon on their own and they could both run items, I think Manectric would be better than Tapu Koko, but it does not. It's forced to run an item, and not only is it forced to run an item, that means you can't run another Mega. Okay, people can't hear the music. That's odd. Okay, let me know if that's better. That should be. And somebody's saying it's a bit stale considering the last stream. Yeah, I kind of realized after I posted this team's going to look really similar to the one from last week. But, so be it. If people are tired of it, they can just not watch, I guess. But I think Electric Terrain is super cool because the tier I main has only Pincurchin. Okay, so, yeah, we're definitely going to be using these two together because Manectric gets rising voltage. That's the cool thing. 2 times power, so you get an incredibly powerful attack. This makes this thing just an absolute nuke, which is really, really fun. And if we look at the Pokemon that get rising voltage, we filter for electric, which, didn't do much. And then it's got to be grounded, right? Obviously, Xurkitree's insane. But if you look at speed, if we rank this based on speed, Regieleki, terrible coverage. Zeraora, not that strong on the special side. Manectric is probably the best for the job. Okay, so with that in mind, let's make this set. There are a couple ways you can go about this. Static is kind of funny. I sort of do like the idea of cheesing people with that. Yeah, no, realistically, we should go with Lightning Rod, though. I think that's the better ability here. I think that's just the better option. Could also help us against a Raging Bolt in the end game, and allows us to switch into Zapdos, Volt Switch, and stuff. So probably Lightning Rod is better. We, of course, go Volt Switch. We, of course, go Hidden Power Ice. And then the last slot is a little bit of a toss-up. Nico, thank you for wishing me a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful day as well. It two-shots Glow King. That's wonderful. Great news. Okay, so the last slot, you either go Overheat or you go Flamethrower. Personally, I like Flamethrower for two reasons. One, it can't miss. And two, I think this Manectric is a set that wants to stay in a bit more than other Manectric sets. So this will be very, very similar to the other team, to be honest, because what it wants. Koko is absolutely a necessary partner. And then Pursuit is necessary for consistency as well. Because Manectric is walled by. We're going to make a little list here, and you'll see why we need Pursuit. Clodsire. It's going to be very similar to the Iron Valiants. Yeah. Wow, this thing is really good. It is not walled by much. I'm looking forward to using this thing. Holy. Chansey. Pretty much just those two. So we want Pursuit. We can't have a Mega. It's Kingambit. You know it. You love it. It's even better in Nat decks than it is in OU. Or perhaps it's not more broken, but it's really, really great for slapping onto teams. Knockoff and Pursuit is, of course, incredible utility. Amazing every time. So I think this is probably a very standard starting core with Manectric. I would imagine these three are kind of like a Manectric standard if you're going to run it. Lauren saying, well, we need a premature Alomomola. Maybe. I mean, I do like Alo, given how it kind of gets this pivoting core started. And it is good against grounds. Yep, that is true. Somebody asked, do I think any Reggies are good in OU? Let's take a quick look. No, just Lecky. And even Lecky, maybe not. I mean, with Gliscor in the tier, that's really tough. Probably Regilecky's viable. Normalium Z is nice. But no, Drago is trash. I've tried it. It's complete and utter garbage. Should never be used. Registeel is just totally outdone by other options, as is Regirock, Regigigas. Yeah, no, none of these Pokemon have a place in OU. It's just Lecky. And then another idea, somebody said, do you think Magnezone plus Moonblast spam as a successor to Dragmag is a viable team idea? So no, because poison types, right? So like in the generation where Dragmag worked, the only resist to Dragon was Steel. Moonblast has poison types, and also Magnezone actually traps like 0 steel types. Like if you look at like even in OU it's even worse, but if we look at steel types, right, look at Magnezone, it doesn't actually want to deal with this. I mean, it can because HP Fire and Nat-Dex, but yeah, so I guess it can trap Pharaoh, but like it's not trapping gold. It doesn't like being in an E-Trend. This Volt switches out, this kills it, this outspeeds and kills it unless you're Scarf. This has Earthquake, this U-turns out. I mean, it can get HP fired, but you're trapping like half the ghost types. I mean, excuse me, half the steel types. And then you still have to deal with poison types. So no, don't use Magnezone. Yeah, but I really do like the Alomomola here. I mean, look, like, it makes so much sense. It really, and I know I'm an Alomomola addict, but like I could stop whenever I want. No, but jokes aside, I mean, it's good with grounds, and it also gives us, well, first of all, it wishes up Gambit, which is really nice. But also, these two are fast pivots. When you have two fast pivots, you really want to slow pivot as well. You really want to slow pivot as well. Reason being, you know, when you've got a fast pivot, oftentimes you want to deal damage and switch out, whether that's U-turn with Tapu Koko or Volt Switch with Manectric. But then, you know, you don't want to necessarily give up that momentum. You want to keep this cycle going. How do you do that? Well, that's you go into a slow pivot. This also gives safe entry, of course, to Manectric. So honestly, these first four I'm feeling really good about. The question is, can we support these? I would really like to be able to support these, but I worry that there's not actually any combination of Pokemon in the last two slots that can make this workable. But we'll find out. We'll definitely find out. Oh, I forgot Ting-Lu, right? Because Ting-Lu's in UU for some reason. That's hilarious. But yes, Ting-Lu does indeed wall. Like, why is that? Ting-Lu is in... That's just wild. Guys, you can make jokes all you want about Alo, but it's going to pop off like it does every single stream, and you know it. You know it will. I know it will. It's going to be great. No, but like, look, it's not my fault Alo's so good in Nat decks. It's really not. It just, it's. Let's take a look at the VR. Look at that, A tier. The fact that Toxapex is above Alo is some absolute BS. But anyway, I digress. Yeah. So, there's another thing that worries me. Zamazenta, yeah, that's faster. So, let's just get a threat list down. Let's get a threat list down. Our team is currently losing to... It's losing quite a bit, I'm afraid. Yeah, no Wogrepon. So yeah, it's a 4-mon team. We've got plenty of problems. Or let's just say we lose to. It's going to be a lot of Pokemon. It's going to be a lot of Pokemon. Or we can't switch into, because like for instance Charizard, we can't switch into that, but we kind of actually don't lose to it, because it has a really tough time entering. Alo heads be like, one more wish / flip is all I need. Somebody else asked, would Iron Jugulus be a good pair with Koko plus E-Terrain? So at some point, it's a good question. At some point, what I want to do is, you guys, I don't know if you guys remember this back in the day, but there used to be this thing called Koko Lucha Rain, and it was really popular. Funny how easy rain teams are to build. They really just come together. But yeah, I actually do want to try this at some point, like a Koko Lucha Rain with Jugulus. I think that could be super fun. But that's not what we're building today. That's for another time. Let's get back to Mega Manectric. So, yeah, there's Zard Y. Okay. Diancie, kinda. Mega Diancie. Mega Charizard. We'll just be specific, clarify it. And we need removal and a hazard setter and an electric immunity. Lightning Rod is not something we want to rely on long term. We are hoping to get the Mega off. We don't want to keep. We don't want to be forced to keep Manectric in its base form. Somebody else asking about Iron Leaves. No, but I'm gonna write it down right now to add iron. I'm adding iron leaves. I'm adding iron leaves to the list. I got a big list of all the things I want to build around. We've got streams for days, or rather streams for months, maybe years. I've got a lot of ideas written down that I want to build around. So yeah. Can't switch into Zard. Diancie. Lopunny. How fast is that? It ties Manectric. That's not good. But okay. Garchomp is kind of rough with the SDZ sets. It's not terrible. Like, we can handle it, but... Mm-hmm. Yeah, Great Tusk is always an option. Great Tusk is always an option. Go ahead and log off for me, bro Chacho. Where is your ground resist? Down 02, always a pleasure. Although it's funny that they said, where is your fire resist? And then there's an Olo right there. But yeah, fairy types, we can add that to the list. Fairy types, we definitely need to resist to that. No, I wrote it down on electronically this time. The Iron Leaves will happen. I just keep forgetting. Yeah, Goldengo, we're fine. Heatran, we're fine. Crown, we're fine. We can just group fairy types as we see them together. Kartana, yeah. Kyurem, yeah. Megalopony, kinda, because we have Olo, but I'd like more. Strong ground types. Garchomp. If a Scarf Garchomp came in, someone in chat asked, we'd go into Alomola and Walla forever. But, yeah, strong ground types are an issue, and they are real in that decks. Wellspring, definitely a concern. Definitely a concern. Raging Bolt, not fun. Roaring Moon, yeah, we'll put Roaring Moon on there. I got some recommendation for Cork Treads. I always forget about the Cork Drive. Yeah, that could be cool here. I mean, it doesn't actually help with that much. Well, no, that's not true. Well, it doesn't really help with Ivel. It kind of it helps with Mega Diancie and Raging Bolt, and that's sort of it. I mean, it removes, so there is that. No, that is, it removes, it can, actually no, it does a fair bit. Let's add a possibilities list here. And we have Tusk, Treads, and I think you've always got to add Lando, because it's a Landorus, you know. Roaring Moon, and do we beat Scizor? You know what the crazy thing is? I think for the first time, we don't have Scizor as a problem. Let's run a calc, though. I'm not going to be too sure just yet. Okay, so it would be at +3 if we come in. That's low-key not great. Gosh, why is this thing, why is Scizor the way it is? That's, like, because, like, we can switch in hard, and then it would be, but then, you know, it can just attack one time. Yeah, no, Scizor is a problem. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Mega Scizor is always being a problem. Gotta just build around it one day. Lele, yeah, Lele. Lele. Oh, this is Choice Band. Thank you. Oh, that's so much more manageable. Whew. Yeah, okay, that's... okay, phew. Yeah, no, that we're fine. We're fine. Scizor is not a threat. Thank God. Thank you, guys. I figured it out. Glad everybody's... Yeah, I figured this is where the delay gets awkward. I'm watching the messages roll in, but you don't see my reaction yet. Thank you though for pointing it out. I appreciate it. It's still going on my end. Okay, so anything else? Volcarona, yeah, always classic. What would the world be if we didn't have a Volcarona problem, am I right? Me and my calcs, eh? Okay, and Zamazenta is Zamazenta's not great. And honestly, and fighting types. And fighting types, those are not ideal. Okay, so let's suppose we added on a Treads. Let's say we put on a Treads and it's like Rocks, Rapid Spin, EQ, Ice Spinner. Probably that's the best set here. And let's assume booster speed, right? So yeah, let's say we're booster speed. What would that change? Let's take a list here. That covers a lot of our issues, at least on the requirement side, but it doesn't cover that much defensively speaking. So it takes away the fairy types, but it gives us still IVAL as a concern. Perhaps not a grave concern, perhaps a manageable concern, but a concern. Somebody asked me when the draft starts. I have no idea. That draft, I don't think it's not going to be streamed. I have not been managing it. That's totally in the hands of whoever's managing it. And honestly, even though I think Kurem is managing it, so be careful not to get frozen. But if you're interested, yes, there is a Pink Accord draft thing happening. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so this is what the Treads helps with, and this is what it doesn't help with, is left here. So everything. Okay, is there anything that can check a Zardwy, a Kartana, an Ival, Kurem, Wellspring, Roaring Moon, Volcara? So here's the thing. Like, almost all of this is handled by a Moltres. Almost all of this is handled by a Moltres. Yeah, I think Molt is the way to go here. Yeah, no, I think it's the way to go here. Down 0-2 saying my team loses to Delmise. Or Delmise, not sure how to pronounce it. It doesn't. I'm not worried about that. So definitely, what am I trying to say? Wogerpon, that's threatening. but maybe not super problematic. Like we kind of can answer it offensively, so somebody's saying just give a fairy move to Koko. Yeah, we definitely could go. I think a fairy move Koko is correct here. Are there any other answers for these last two slots? Is there anything other than Moltres that can do it? Why can't Koko handle the dragons in Zamazenta? Well, because it gets outsped in the Dragon's Dragon Dance. Although, I mean, we need an answer for Banded Zama, is the thing. Like, I'm not worried about a situation where, try to think about how to phrase this. I'm not so much worried about Iron Defense. I'm worried about Banded CC. I feel like maybe a Toxapex puts us in kind of an awkward spot as far as pivoting goes, though. Yeah, I mean, okay. Like, Pex would help with a lot of this. So let's have a Pex version. So here's the good thing about Toxapex as well. If we do add Pex, that opens up room for potentially a different pivoting Pokemon. So, like, for example, we could go something like Toxapex, Corviknight, Great Tusk. Just like I'm not saying this is like the team and it's going to be great, but I'm saying this is a possibility. But let's take another look. Pex, Iron Treads, Moltres might be just the play. Another recommendation for Slowbro, or Slow King over Lopunny. That's or over Olo. That's another great idea. Yeah, because see, like a FizzDev Slowbro here, that would definitely do a lot of what we need. That would take care of the fighting problem. It doesn't. It fixes some of the issues. It doesn't really solve anything though. Or it solves very little. Somebody says Kingambit seems to be sagging us defensively. I disagree. Its priority is really nice to have. The Ghost Resist it's offering is really crucial. And the Pursuit Trapping is very offensively important. So let's see, does this solve our problems? I think it kind of does. I think, yeah, I kind of like this version. No, but this is kind of just as bad against Wellspring, isn't it? Yeah. It really is. What if, how about like, does Zapdos get the job done here? Let's take a look. No, because it doesn't help against Zard. No, the Pex was mostly there for the Zard problem. 5 Mons weak to ground, then a Moltres. In what world is all of Alomomola weak to ground? Or are you talking about this one? Yeah, no, that's fair. This one is not ideal. Yeah, Port Bro could be really good with the future sight pressure. Definitely true. Let's look at this and see if anything is appearing in the last slot. So what this version would do is it would do most of what Alo did, but it would also handle the fighting types. But we're still left with all of these problems, which are very substantial problems. Yeah, I think we still end up weak to Water Pond is the thing. Somebody asks, does Weavile not Pursuit Trap and give you the extra speed you need over Gambit? Speed isn't really the problem. I mean, it'd be nice to have something that outspeeds Zama, but we're not going to get that with Weavile anyway. Yeah, and it also just, Weavile is not as solid of a defensive component as King Gambit. You know, it kind of could work. It looks like a Dragonite, maybe. Like a Dragonite kind of does what we need here. Not if we see, because like Megalop, I'll take this off because it's kind of, I think we can sort of handle Megalop. Well, no, we really can't, can we? Because if Slowbro gets chipped, like that's it. We have nothing that outspeeds it. Yeah, Baneful Bunker for Ogerpon would be fine. The Pex version doesn't really struggle with Ogerpon. I just think, yeah, 5 Ground Weeks is a lot for the Pex version. It really is a lot. Pharaoh Overtreads is fine, but then we have the issue of where's our removal, you know? You know what's kind of a funny idea? That handles not all of these, but some of these, helps with some of these, is for a potential Alo version. I think this is almost certainly, you know, not feasible at all, but like if we could somehow fit in like a and okay, and I know this is not going to work because there's no way we can fit this, like an AV Raging Bolt with like Dragon Tail for you know, for Volcarona. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, let's get back to Planet Earth. That's perhaps an idea for another time, maybe on a non-Mega Manectric team. Somebody said they could see the Roost detail set working. Is that a thing? Interesting. I don't think that's a thing in Nat decks. Defog Koko is not real. Like, if you're running Defog Koko, you should rebuild because your team sucks. Like, we're not doing that. Someone just Aura Fantastica in all caps saying Tangrowth. But one of the threats is Zard and Volcarona. So, no. Yeah, Tangrowth over and over. No, Tangrowth is not what we need here. It's not the hero we've been looking for. Ora Fantastica, you're gonna have to stop shouting Tangrowth. AV Bolt on the Slowbro could work. No, look at ground types. Terrapagos. I always forget that Terrapagos is removal, but I don't really know if that does what we need. It doesn't really do what we need here. But I do always forget about Terrapagos. I'm so used to OU where it's just Tuscan Treads. Yeah, I want like a slow bulky pivot, but like Peck seems to be the best way to get what we want. Is the thing. I mean, like an Olo version, like Olo can take a Power Whip. It can take a Power Whip and it can like hit Ogerpon, but having so few switch-ins to Ogerpon definitely does not feel good. I mean, how much is Moltres taking? Like a defensive Moltres taking from an Ogerpon? Okay, I mean, it's not killing. I don't know. And then we can Wisp it. I'm thinking we go with this and just kind of see how it works. And have offensive pressure be our Wellspring answer. Let's run a calc with Olo. Power Whip, yeah, okay, so an Adamant, let's say Adamant Power Whip. How much HP do we need to make sure we don't die? Not much. We need 40. Okay, let's do that. So we'll go 40 HP. Max defense. Good bit of Spadaf. Actually, we're losing a lot in the way of special bulk. Like, those are still not good odds. I think we just go with the regular set. The odds that it hits and we die and it's an Adamant Ogerpon are not that high. So that's fine. We go do that. HDB for sure on this. Yep, Lightning Rod. We're just going to go Timid Max. I mean, speed time. It makes too much sense to go with this set. Now, as for what we want to do with this Moltres, I think we do need Wisp. We obviously need Roost. We obviously need Flamethrower. And I want to run U-Turn. The only thing that's making me hesitate is the Volcarona. I think we go U-Turn, and if Olo, Gambit, Moltres, Mola is proving not sufficient to deal with Volcarona, we can reevaluate then. And we, of course, go HDB, and we, of course, go Flame Body. Yeah, I will say a lot of my NatDex teams do look similar. So it would be good to break out of that a little bit. I think we need to try some different archetypes. I think I've been choosing a lot of Pokemon that are very suited to balance. I like to try some more offensive builds and some fatter builds. So maybe next week we do Porygon Z, or maybe something fatter like Mega Steelix or Mega Aggron. Yeah, because I think I'm falling into a bit of a rhythm with balanced teams. Not too bad of one. We're still seeing some decent variation, but I think there are tools I could be utilizing better. So, but let's think about this for now. So we can get down the obvious sets first. Knockoff, Pursuit, Ironhead, Sucker Punch. We'll go 16 to outspeed other Kingambit. It's a good range to creep in. And AI Summary says we're building a Sigilif team. That's not true. Supreme Overlord, Regen, yep, Cork Drive. So now here's the question. We've got a Z-move slot. So, and we've got a couple options. So for, whoops, we could go Icium Treads, or like Groundium, or we could go Electrium on Koko. Just one of those teams. It really, I mean, we already need a Stealth Rocker anyway. Treads can do both. Like, I know there are defoggers, but we really just don't, they don't fit that well. So, do we want to put the Z on Koko, or do we want to put the Z on Treads? That is the question. That is the question. I will say, if we build Steelix or Aggron, there will be an Alomomola. There's no avoiding it with those Pokemon. You need a Wish Passer. Well, actually, that's not true. There is avoiding it. There's also Chansey and Blissey. But if we build Steelix, it's going to have at least one bulky Wish Passer. And somebody says, seriously, how does watching Stall sound fun to you? Mega Steelix, I'm not building Stall. It would be a Mega Steelix Fat Balance or like Semi-Stall or something. So I'm thinking we go Z Koko. Someone has to, oh, great question from chat. Don't you need Terrain Extender on Koko? No. So we're putting Treads on this team because it works on this team. We're putting Rising Voltage is for the synergy with Koko, but we don't like Electric Terrain so much that we want to run a crappy Koko set. And I think it is a crappy Koko set without a real item. So I think, whoops, Hidden Power, Ice, Taunt, T-Bolt. I think we'll go with the standard set. I like running Taunt, given Volcarona looks a little scary. Just blocking setup in general is good. A lot of people like Wish on this, but yeah. And with Treads, I think we'll just go Leftovers for now. We could maybe switch it up. I could see like Eject Button being kind of fun, but for now, I think Leftovers is fine. Somebody says make a variant with both Z moves. Yeah, fair enough. We can do that. The other question is, how much attack do we want on this? It's no longer our sole resist. I think we want to go attack invested. If it was our only fairy resist, I'd want to go bulkier, but I think we can go attack and speed on this, and that would be fine. And yeah, let's say Electrium version, and let's make a different one, Icium version. So this one will have the Sub-Zero Slammer Treads, and then what do we go on Koko? Is the question? Or we could run Double Z. I don't have an issue with Double Z. Somebody says, what about the fairy move? I don't think we really need a fairy move here. I don't think, I mean, Koko often drops the fairy move. Like, let's take a look at Tapu Koko, not Dex usage. We can do this, actually. Koko. What? Koko, there we go. So Dazzling Gleam, okay, it's on 67. So apparently most do run it, and they choose to not run Taunt. Yeah, so we might run D-Gleam. Trishula asks, Pink Across, is it wrong to just use Smogon sets? No, it's not. Why would it be? So let's see, though, if we were to go Icium, there are a few options. I think probably Boots and Specs are my favorite options, but what is Koko packing? What does it do? Runs Terrain Extender sometimes. Boots and Specs are the next two, or the next most common. Let's do a Spec set. I haven't used that in a good long while. And do we go Volt Switch, or do we probably stick with U-Turn? Somebody asked, could Z wild charge treads to punish waters, thinking they're safe on it, terrain boosted. That's super interesting, actually. Let's call this Electrium Treads version. Yeah, because we're not really that scared of Gliscor. Whoops. We're not really that scared of Gliscor, so this could actually be super funny. Just like, yeah, that would nuke some stuff. At the same time, like with our main core being Koko, Manectric, do we really need to be destroying water types? Probably not, but it's a cool idea nonetheless. And I like that it could, blows up a lot of defoggers. Like Corviknight would absolutely hate to deal with that, which is pretty fun. So let's start with the simplest one, because I honestly think it'll be best. I feel like leftovers on treads is generally pretty good. And yeah, let's just do a quick check to make sure I didn't forget any abilities. Good. I think we're looking good. And let's go for it. Or not OU. Not Dex. Yeah, don't unless spec. Okay, we're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll. Oh, whoops. I'm too zoomed in. There we go. So we've got a Clodsire on deck. Obviously not what you want to see. One of the very few Pokemon that can handle what we're packing. But, we've got answers. Main one being Pursuit Gambit. And burning it would be great too. So let's start with Tapu Koko. It looks strong against almost everything here. And we see immediate Clodsire. I feel pretty safe taunting. I don't ever imagine a Clodsire attacking. That's not really Clodsire's way. And we can U-turn out here. Now, I think it's probably likely to Earthquake. I'm okay with going Moltres. It's not super important in this matchup. And we can just get off a Will-O-Wisp on something. I also like to see that Clodsire is not leftovers. Given we only have Stealth Rock, that's better for us in this matchup. We would much rather it be, heavy-duty boots than a leftover set. So that's good. And against this, I'm thinking we probably just bring in the treads. I mean, worst case scenario, we get Scald Burned, which would be bad. Like, not gonna lie, that would be bad. But, okay, I think we just go for immediate EQ here. Okay, and it's Balloon Goldengo. Good to know. So we're probably got to get hit with a Focus Blast, so I want to go into Olo on this. Okay, and we see in comes the Skarmory. Fair enough. Obviously, we got to get rid of that T-Spike immediately. Let's bring in Treads, and we want to just go for a Rapid Spin here. I don't think the Gold's going to come in again. Yeah. Good. Okay, and obviously that's not ideal, but we can wish it up. So we might get Whirlwinded here. We'll see. If we move first, we'll know we got Whirlwinded. Nope, we don't get Whirlwinded. Cool. So we can restore our Treads, which now this will kind of be an endless cycle unless we can get a Flame Body. So we're going to fish for that here. Hopefully we get it. Nope, that's fine. Pex will definitely come back in, so we can U-turn. And let's go into Koko, and we're now in a position where we can start to threaten things. So I'm going to U-turn here, hopefully on the incoming Clodsire. Then we can bring in Kingambit and hopefully get off a Pursuit Trap. So we'll see. It might have Baneful. I'm going to U-turn anyway. I don't think Baneful's... Well, let's check. Let's check how common Baneful is. Okay, Baneful is at least not, other is 16%. So let's U-turn. Wow, that's bold. That is really bold. But okay, worked out for them. Let's go for Stealth Rock here. Gold coming in, interesting. So what I'm starting to suspect is that this Toxapex does not have a water move, which I'm very happy with. We're very happy to see that. And yes, Clodsire did get a 3D model, which is really cool. So far, the Shock Dog is doing nothing, because we immediately faced a Clodsire, but I'm optimistic. close my blinds here. Oh. Okay, we got Shadow Ball. That's fine. Also, fun fact, my apartment ran out of cold water. I mean, it ran out of the water heater broke. So I've been taking freezing showers. It's been interesting. I'm going to go for the EQ here. I think the Pex. Actually, no, this Pex doesn't. I don't think this Pex has anything to hit me. Let's go for the Ice Spinner. Okay, great, 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 great. Love to see that. So let's calc. That Ice Spinner did 10. So this Goldango is... Let's see max defense rolls. Okay, it wouldn't have done... No, it could have actually. That could have been on the high range. Let's check the Shadow Ball on Mola. How much did that Shadow Ball do? That did 31. Mola... From a Goldango with 0 special attack... could reasonably do that. Okay, so unfortunately we got 0 information from that. Gold, though, focus play, it could do a bit. I think we realistically we just want to wish it up at this point. So let's wish and just try to get it in. Okay. Interesting opportunity for us here. I think we take this. I'm going to Toxic. Yeah, so at this point, because we've got the gold knocked and we can wish up the treads, I'm feeling like we're not going to get spiked up on long term. So I'm okay with taking this deal, especially because we can keep treads healthy. I'm okay with taking this deal. And I'm going to go Molt here on the likely body press. Another chance to flame body. Okay, don't get it. Totally fine. Let's go for the, let's turn out. So instead I got -1 attack from that chilling water. I used to be one of those cold shower people. Lasted a couple months because I started to dread showering. And I was like, this is not how modern life is supposed to be. All right, and here, let's go for the spin. Somebody says it feels like stream audio is behind the video. Okay, we get off a spin. Can the Pex touch us? It can. Please don't burn. Okay, at least we didn't get burned. That could have been bad. Wow, yeah, that really could have been bad. That's alarming. Let's go Mola. Okay, actually, that getting burned is good for us, funny enough. We actually like that, because now we don't get T-spiked when we come in. Okay, cool. We can wish. And let's flip turn. We'll see what Skarm wants. Yeah, if it's that, then we're going to go into treads. And let's go Molt again. Now that we have Olo burned, we're weirdly in a more comfortable position against Pex. Yeah, that was fortunate for sure. Do we get it this time? We don't. Again, that's kind of annoying. Let's U-turn out here. Okay, yeah. In comes the Pex, as one would expect. Let me calc that U-turn. Moltres, or what's the most damaging move we've hit this Toxapex with? Probably a Tread's Rapid Spin. Tread's Rapid Spin did that much. So this is not a defensive Pex. Meaning if this is a special Pex, it can probably actually live this. So I'm going to pop the Z here. Okay, Clodsire came in. Well played. Let's U-turn. Yeah, obviously unfortunate to lose the Z, but it really wasn't that crucial in this matchup. So I'm not too broken up about it. What do you think that Latias set is? I don't know. Okay, we get EQ'd. Fine. Let's Pursuit here. I think my opponent understands how crucial this Clodsire is. At the same time, Knockoff looks pretty good against everything, so let's actually just, I'm going to reconsider. We'll just go for Knockoff here. Yeah, Knockoff is kind of a no-lose play here. And we can wish up Gambit, whereas if we Pursuit and then we get called out, you know, Gambit's not coming back. Okay, great. EQ'd again. Okay, and I think Pursuit, yeah, Pursuit based on that knock damage does get the kill here. Happy Dude says if it's delayed, reload, because mine's fine. That's good. Yeah, reload, please. And okay, we get the Claude. So it is time. It is time to Volt turn around. This is why, remember somebody was saying, oh, you know, Kingambit's defensively. This is why we added Kingambit. It's not about the bulk. It's about what it does offensively for our team. And that is incredible death. That Clodseire's death means the world. And on this, we have absolutely no reason not to go Mola. We actually, well, hold on. We might get Pursuit trapped. I think we switch out anyway. Oh, we don't get Pursuit. That's even better. I had thought I'd given up Kingambit for dead there, but it was alive. It's back. So I'd really like to be able to get rid of that spike, but I'm not sure if that's ever realistically going to happen. I don't think my opponent will let it happen. So let's go Manectric, let's Mega Evolve, get that Lightning Rod show on the road, and go for a nice Volt Switch. So there we go, it has begun, and let's get in Treads, and we can go for a Rapid Spin. This kind of puts my opponent in a trap, because if we get Treads in and we Rapid Spin, then we can start freely Volt turning, which is really my opponent's only way to hold back this onslaught. But if Skarmory comes in here, I can go back to Manectric and we can keep this cycle going. So even though I don't have an offensive way of pressuring my opponent, this kind of, you know, keeps the pressure up in a sense. Okay, and the gold switch is fair. Let's go Mola. I think that's fine. Okay, here I'm going to Wish and we're going to get up Koko. I think Koko is a really good thing to have healthy here because it has Taunt, which my opponent does not know. So yeah, we can now go for this, and this is looking so good here. I imagine the Latias will come. Maybe my opponent just decides to sack here. Probably the Latias comes in, and then we taunt it as it thinks it can maybe live a hit. Or if, depending on how much damage we do, we maybe just go for the U-turn guaranteed kill. Think Lewis asked, Pink Cross, would you rather have Roaring Moon or Terra Blast banned? I would say ban Terra Blast, because I really just want the meta to get even just a little bit less broken if it can. But at the same time, Terra Blast is kind of used by a lot of cool Pokemon. Like, it's not the... Okay, good, yeah, so we're going to get off a very nice taunt here, and our opponent is not going to be happy when they see this come off. Okay, that's interesting. All right, let's Thunderbolt. I don't really understand that switch, because you need to heal this Latias. Like, you absolutely need to heal this Latias, so why not Roost there? I suppose Fear of Dazzling Gleam, but like, I don't know what you thought a Peck switch would really do for you there. I can just switch it up in T-Bolt. You've already seen I'm not Spec, so I don't really know what my opponent's doing here. Yeah, I don't fully understand it, but okay. Let's check Manectric here if I can kill a Mega Latias with Hidden Power Ice. No, actually, that's amazing. That's really bulky. Okay, so here we U-turn. Probably just U-turn into Mola. I don't really see a reason not to. Yep, we can just flip turn here. Okay, we see the nasty plot come out. Interesting. So probably just Treads Earthquake here. I think we're at that point of the game where we can stomach having these spikes up forever. Alternatively, we could go Manectric. I want to keep Manectric around because it's Manectric, but do we really have a good reason to keep it around? I mean, it does do more with Hidden Power Ice than Koko. Actually, here's an idea. How much is a Rising Voltage if we got up Terrain? If we got up Electric Terrain, how much is it doing? That's really good damage. So if we, hold on, if we went Koko and then U-turned, we could probably go Manectric. Okay, I have an idea. We're going to try this. We're going to try this. So we'll U-turn here. We'll Sat Gambit, then we'll go Manectric Rising Voltage. 3. Okay, that brings it to 91. So now Manectric is looking very likely to kill. Also, for those of you that use these streams as a way to learn how to play, what I just did, not the optimal way to play. I did it because I wanted to click Rising Voltage. And you see the results were not optimal. Yeah, so it turned out to be a gold with a fair chunk of special investment. You know, it happens. But we can very easily go Mola here. Yeah, Pursuit trapping will not kill us. Oh, actually, no. Well, yeah, no, it won't because it's boots, not banded. Okay, there's a triple axle doing nothing. Let's just wish up. Okay, yeah, Swords Dance is just not even a little bit of a concern. Weavile is... It can't do much to Mola, especially when Mola's already knocked. Like, even if this Swords dances again and gets a critical hit, I don't think it kills. How much do we do with Flip Turn? No, we have to wish again. Yeah, this is the sad truth of Weavile. It doesn't really get the job done, the poor thing. All right, we poison here. Okay, we flip. Probably this thing doesn't have refresh. But when you're in a really good spot, okay, it's refresh. Wow. Not really sure what to say about that one, but I think we can kill with Koko. Well, hold on, let's calc this flip turn. Flip turn did 3. Okay, that's about, honestly, that's probably what we'd see if it was anything, though. I think we go Koko and we taunt, actually. I think that's optimal here. Because it'll try to roost here, almost certainly. Okay, good. Now I think we're locked in for the win for sure. Yeah, okay, cool. Got a little dicey there at the end. Thanks, you too. They did play that well, honestly. I think there was one... No, I wouldn't even call it a mistake. I think Latias maybe was poorly played, but for the most part, pretty good. Oh, that's the... Okay, this is the Koko version, yeah. Wow, okay, this is... I don't really know what to say about this. So, yeah, wow, this is something. So webs are really bad for us. At the same time, you know, and there is an Ogre Pawn. So this looks like it really ought to be a scary matchup. But if we can block webs with Koko, then we'll be in a pretty good spot. Wow, that's a lead. Okay, I don't... Huh. Well, Gigavolt Havoc can kill, so let's do that. Unless this is bulky, it'll die. Okay, cool. This is why I like Electrium Koko. And we're absolutely clicking Taunt here. You already know. And we're going to... Let's U-turn. Oh, wow, staying in. Okay. Fine. All right, it's going to U-turn. Oh, interesting. That kind of makes more sense than why it stayed in, I suppose. I'm glad we got the chip on it. That's good. I really don't want Olo to die. So let's go Treads. Okay, Moonblast, that's got to be Specs, right? Yeah, that's Specs damage. So we can go for some nice rocks here. And if Rabambi comes in, we can Rapid Spin. So I'm okay with letting this die. Okay, we'll go for... Yeah, actually, we can Earthquake here. Just get some good damage off on something. And then I think we go into... Okay, it's Sharpedo coming in. Sharpedo... I wish Sharpedo got Swords Dance. I think it deserves it, honestly. I think they should give Sharpedo Swords Dance. I want to live in a world where that's how Sharpedo works. Does Stone Axe even kill? It actually doesn't. What a sad Pokemon. Yeah, okay. I That's horrifying that Stone Axe doesn't kill. I almost feel bad for it. I think we rapid spin. Oh. Maybe shouldn't have assumed it was Scarf. I'm just so used to them being Scarf. But okay, I mean, we're still in a really, really good spot. Like, realistically, we would have to throw unbelievably to lose this game. It's looking really good. Yeah, so this is super easy to deal with. We just go Manectric, we click Flamethrower. Yeah, we're in a good spot. Faster than B, which is cool. Manectric showing off that 405 base speed. Really good stuff. We always just Volt Switch here, and we can safely... Well, let's think about what we probably just go Molt. Yeah, Molt actually might die to 2 Moonblast. Let's find out. Oh no, not even close. Good stuff, Moltres. And we're going to U-turn here. We don't want to give that Cleaver an entry opportunity. Not like it would be a problem, but, you know, let's play this clean. And we can go Manectric here, we can Volt Switch, and then we can bring in Koko and just wrap this game up with a few Rising Voltages. But unfortunately, our opponent will deny us the pleasure of spamming Rising Voltage, so... Okay, this looks like a team... I'm not loving the Latios, but otherwise this looks like a team well-suited for our lad here. I actually like the idea of just leading with Manectric. I honestly just like leading with it, because it can put quite a bit of pressure on Gliscor. Yeah, Mega will... Oh, wow, no, that doesn't kill special sets. I thought that, like, always killed. 'Tis not so. Koko looks good here. I think our electric boys are the way to do this. Our electric girl this game. Randomized. That's fun. So anyway, though, what do we start with? How do we kick this off? I actually like a Treads lead, because I'm thinking the Gliscor will really want to establish its Toxic Orb. Okay, fair enough. We can go Mola on this. I thought Gliscor would really want to establish its Toxic Orb, so we could take advantage of that, get up rocks with Treads, threaten with an Ice Spinner, kind of force a turn 1 protect sort of situation, but it looks like no. Now, the fact that Gliscor didn't lead tells me it might not be... Okay, we'll get some good info here on this set. That looks like Scarf. That does not look like it got boosted by anything, Punching Glove or otherwise, and the calc agrees. So I think we just do flip turn here. Gliscor coming in makes a lot of sense. We see that flip turn do 27, so that indicates probably a 0 defense Gliscor, which is kind of unfortunate. I wanted it to be a little bit more on the... I wanted it to be a little more on the physical side for our Hidden Power Ice, so it is going to actually be able to survive that. So we can just go for Stealth Rock here. Okay, that's good. And Gliscor, I really don't think is going to want to stay in here. It can die to this. So I'm thinking we bring in the Koko here. I really don't see the Gliscor. Yeah, I was going to say, I just really did not see the Gliscor being risked there. Now, interestingly enough, we do see the Mola come in. So I'm thinking it might be Assault Vest. So I actually want to go for the Gigavolt Havoc, because that will blow up an Assault Vest set. And it looks like it was. I don't think you stay in with Mola if it's not AV there. Okay, in comes the Gliscor. Do we die to an Earthquake? Very unlikely. So I actually just want to click Hidden Power Ice here. Yeah, and like, as I said, I mean, that's going to be, oh, unfortunate Toxic Miss. Okay, and we just see the forfeit. I don't think the poison there meant a whole lot. We had basically a second Tapu Koko sitting in the back that was pretty much unanswered. So I don't think that was like, you know, broke the game, but it was unfortunate for sure. It was unfortunate. Okay, good stuff. And good performances from Electrium Koko as well. So one thing that I'm not such a fan of is Treads. It's good at removal. It's not so good at actually keeping up rocks. And Volt Turn teams really do want to keep up rocks. So I feel like the team we have is okay, but I think we can do better. Potentially like a Heatran could be interesting. A Z-Tran actually could be really interesting. Let's do some theory moning, or whatever they call it. Better SR setter. Heatran, perhaps. Oops. Yeah, I feel like we can make something a little. I'll get the music going again here. Yeah. No, but I feel like we can do a little better. And yeah, because it's just like a Volturn team really wants rocks up, because that's a lot of what you're doing is forcing your opponent to switch. And treads, just like so many defoggers come in and deal with treads. So maybe we could also go with the double Z. I feel like the tread, no, but then I don't think the double Z, because I really want to run Ice Spinner on treads. Because if we run like Z Electrium, then we just get slapped by defog Landorus, which is really common. So the main problem this game, we really want that Ting-Lu poisoned. In every case, I think Olo is a great lead here. Yeah, we click Toxic immediately. Somebody says, yeah, the ground weakness only gets worse. Very true. Very true. I'll protect here. I don't really want to get tricked, so let's protect here. And then we can flip turn next turn. A good switch would be the Ting-Lu coming back in here. That would be clever, but it wouldn't do so well into a flip turn. So hopefully my opponent doesn't do that. Something else, I would happily trade health on Kingambit, like take an EQ to knock the Ting-Lu off. I think that's a totally... Okay, yep, good on my opponent. That was good. What ELO? 17, okay. Let's flip here. Oh, Ruination, happy to take that. And let's go Gambit, and let's just go for that knockoff. Because of how much I want my electric types to start doing things this game, taking an Earthquake in exchange for a knockoff is totally a good move here for me. Another question to ask with this Koko Manectric core, and we can write this out here on the notepad. Koko plus Manectric core. Better long-term or short-term? And that's bad luck for my opponent. Unfortunate. We're going to go for the Iron Head and take full advantage. Yeah, I'm totally happy to take that chip. Okay, great, fine. And let's go, we can just go Mola. Okay, and we'll flip here. Good stuff, and I think we can go treads here. Tank the EQ, go for a spin, threaten a kill the next turn with Ice Spinner. Yep. I think my opponent does not have any way of healing this Ting-Lu other than rest. So I think this was a miscalculation to let this Ting-Lu get so weak. I think this was a mistake. Okay, Corviknight gonna come in, fine. We have a very easy response to that in Mola. Actually, let's quickly calc that, because that did more than I thought it would. Yeah, that indicates to me that this is a very special Corviknight. Yeah, that has no defense investment whatsoever. Yeah, 22, wow. So this has absolutely zero. So in that case, a body press will actually not kill. So I'm going to go for Stealth Rock here. I'm glad I calced. That could have been a bit of a blunder. And we'll Ice Spinner here just to make sure this thing cannot rest, though I really don't think it's rest, to be honest. Okay, Ting-Lu dead. We are free to Volt Switch. It is not going well for X Blizzard. It is not going well at all. Okay, and I really would like to break this thing's Terra Shell, so I think I'm just going to Earthquake and deal some damage. Yeah, that's good. I'm totally happy to take that trade. And I'm expecting here to see a Flamethrower or an Earth Power. So, can Mola take a Earth Power into his Terra Starstorm? The Lussac was def planned. Oh yeah, I'm I bet. We could also go for rocks again, but then that'll just get removed. Moltres and Flamethrower here could be solid. No, but we want to keep the Moltres around. And Treads is dying to a Flamethrower. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have rocked, but it was the reason I rocked was because I saw the core was super SPDF and I knew a body press wouldn't kill. Yeah. At the same, I'm keeping Treads around because I want rocks, but let's be so real. Do we actually need rocks at this stage in the game? I feel like we don't, to be perfectly honest. I feel like we don't actually need rocks. Like, it would be kind of nice for Gyarados, but I don't think we need them. Let's just go for the Earthquake, take the damage, and get this Terapagos chipped. Okay, and we die. That's totally fine. Kingambit. Can Kingambit come in here, take a Flamethrower? It can. Do I want to give Gyarados that entry, though? Let's take a look at Gyarados here. Let's say Mega. And Manectric, also Mega. And that's -1. So if it sets up, that could be a problem for sure. So I don't think we want to give that thing the entry opportunity. In that case, I think the next best option, we go Mola, we poison. Then we sack something. What do we sack? Yeah, I'm trying to just position myself so that Gyarados never gets an entry opportunity, because that's the big scary here. So let's go Mola and let's just poison. Let's start with that. Okay, oh, interesting, Calm Mind. Okay, that's going to make this actually, I think, a little easier for us. So Gambit here, how much is Gambit taking from a Terra Starstorm? We can Tech here. Actually, no, that was not the play, but okay, that's fine. No, yeah, that was a miscalculation for sure. All right, let's go. Oh no, we'll see. We'll see. May have just made a major mistake, but we'll see. No, yeah, I think I should have. Timer got to me a bit there. I think I should have switched Gambit earlier, because I'm definitely, yeah, now this is the thing, isn't it? I think we do have to go hard Manectric here. If it's Earthquake. Okay, so we'll get the Intimidate established. At least there's that. Yeah, we always Mega Evo Volt Switch here. And then I think the play is... Can Koko come in? Yeah, I think we go Koko. And I think we always T-Bolt. And we hope it's not... Oh, it's EQ. Okay, that's not good. It's unfortunately, it's the set. I think we have to Rising Voltage. I'm expecting the substitute here, predicting the Gambit entry. So what we're going to do is Rising Voltage once, then we're going to sack Gambit, then come back in with Manectric. But yeah, no, I was hoping it would not be sub EQ. This was unfortunately the situation. I was like, yeah, we can't have it be that set, and then it was this set. Yeah, but no, I should not have brought Gambit in on the Terapagos. That was definitely a mistake. Oh well, it happens. Yeah, the mistake there was letting it get the entry. I played a little greedy at the end, I think. I tried to conserve too many of my pieces. But at the same time, I really had no way of knowing it would be a sub EQ set, which, as I said, that's the way we lose, is a sub EQ set. HF. Okay, Rain, and it has no electric immune. We are good. Let's lead with Manectric, and let's Volt Switch. Okay, Pharaoh comes in. Fine. Okay, and we taunt here. This is a helmet Pharaoh, based on what I'm seeing here. And let's just go Manectric here. Probably just going to be like a gyro ball, something like that. And we can start clicking. Okay, cool, fine. Let's just go for Rising Voltage here. Weather Ball, that's Scarf Zapdos we're looking at. Don't see that every day. Trishula just over and over celebrating in chat. Even though you were in the actual game, so I know you saw that. But anyway, we can Wish and Flip Turn here, get up the Manectric. Okay, and let's just go for a Flamethrower here. It'll still do quite a bit through rain. Okay, and we'll Volt Switch. Okay, Pharaoh going to stay in. Fine. We can go for Rocks here. Yep, and we can Rapid Spin, which also removes Leech Seed, for those of you that didn't know. Cool little side effect. That was not a good Toxic. We can just Earthquake there. Okay, Pharaoh dead. Could swap Treads for Scarm? Absolutely not. That gets rid of our removal, and that gets rid of our electric immunity. So we don't do that. Let's go Mola here. I think Mola's fine. Gives us a little... Okay, we can... I'm going to Protect, because I don't want to get Hurricaned. Okay, we see Defog, so it probably doesn't have it. Let's just Flip Turn here. Bring in Manectric again and click Volt Switch. Guys, this is why you need a ground type. You see what's happening to this poor soul? This is why you need one on every team. We can go Mola here. We can Protect. Almost all of these are choiced. Worst case scenario, it's Drake. Yeah, and we just go King Gambit on this. Okay, and Scizor wants to come in. That's totally fine. We just go Mola. Yeah, this is a completely unwinnable matchup for my... This is totally an unwinnable matchup. I mean, maybe the Dragonite can pull some kind of crazy sweep, but yeah, I don't think so. Weather Ball. Yeah, yeah, we can just... Yeah, this is not much of a game. Oh, that was not a good switch in. The Dragonite was your only hope, buddy. Dragonite was the only hope. Okay. Are you serious, Koko? You can't kill this thing? Wow. That's kind of sad. Oh, it's leftovers. That's something. Okay, well, let's just go for the HP Ice. See how much we do. Oh, and you Earthquaked. No, you needed to, like, Dragon Dance and stuff. Okay, well, we can Rising Voltage here. Yeah, this game's over. Maybe like a Swords Dance Scizor could pull something. Maybe. I think that's the only way out. No, but then I've got a whole Moltres, so no, that's not going to happen. Yeah, we can just go Alo here, and if we get Dracoed, then we can Pursuit Trap with Gambit. So, we can Wish up, or let's Protect. Minimize our chances to get critical hit. Okay, that did a lot more than the other one, but I guess that's rolls for you. Okay, and this is a Scarf Zapdos, so we can always Protect here. Or actually... Yeah, no, we can Protect here. That's fine. We can just Wish up if it's a Pelly. Oh, and Heat Wave. Yeah, that's not a problem. Let's Wish up. Go for a Toxic here. Yeah, this matchup is so bad. Let's throw off another Toxic, try to catch Zapdos. Zapdos might try to come in and Static here. That's what I would try to do if I were my opponent. Okay, Scizor. Good. Let's just flip. Zapdos, but we don't get static. You tried. You tried. Let's go into this, and yeah, I'll sucker. Think if you could give Treads another ability, what would it be? Well, it's got to be something thematically appropriate, and something that would be good for it. That's kind of an interesting question. I don't exactly know. What ability would I give a Treads? How much is Kingambit taking from this thing? Weatherballing. Yeah, Kingambit's taking a lot, but it'll take like 0. Let's go into Kingambit so we can end this game faster. Because now Weatherball's doing 0, and yeah, we can just knock that out. You know what? I am surprised and impressed that my opponent kept fighting for as long as they did. I would have forfeited way sooner. What's the win-loss? We are at 4-1. We're doing pretty well. We lost to one sub EQ Gyarados, which I don't know if that's a thing. I guess it is. But yeah, we gotta be careful about those. Okay, we're facing this person again, and this time I'm guessing they're going to be more prepared. So I'm actually going to lead Treads this time. Again, which I did last time, but I'm thinking my opponent will really want to get that Gliscor established even more this time. Bulletproof, I like that. Yep, Bulletproof would be good. And there it up. Sure enough, there's the Gliscor. Let's go for Rocks immediately. Rocks looks so good in this matchup, because if it Earthquakes, we can just Wish Up with Olo. Actually, since this is special, I kind of like, I like Kingambit clicking Knockoff too. Somebody says Galvanize Treads. Okay. Oh, go for the Spike. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised to not see the Protect turn 1, but that's fine. That's fair. We can go Mola here. I don't so much mind Mola being poisoned. Okay, it's going to Protect there. Let's go Treads again on the Toxic, and now we can go for an Ice Spinner. Okay, totally happy to take that damage. I'm going to click that again, and I'm going to click that yet again. We really want this Gliscor low, so I'm totally okay with taking Chip on it. And we can just go for a Rapid Spin here. I'm totally happy to take that deal. Yeah, this is good. If Moltres comes in, I'm expecting a Defog. We're going immediately. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm confused, but all right. Let's go Manectric now. You don't stay in here. I mean, if you do, good on you, but I don't think you do. Okay. No, this thing's going to click Mirror Coat here, isn't it? Yeah, let's not let that happen to us. Let's go Mola. Oh, it's flipped. Okay, so it didn't do that. We can flip turn here for decent damage. But, okay, if it didn't go for Mirror Coat there, it probably doesn't have Mirror Coat. Go for the HP Ice, and here we can go for the Volt Switch. Okay, we get the Volt on Gambit. Not bad, not bad. Molt. Let's go Molt, and we can just U-turn here on whatever comes in. This Gliscor also definitely does not have Roost, so Protect is its only means of healing, meaning if we get in Kingambit and we start clicking Knockoff, that could be really good, which I actually think I want to do right now. Okay, where it looks like we're going to knock the Shifu, get rid of that Choice Scarf. Not bad. I'm pretty sure we can actually go Moltres on this, because, yeah, Surging Strikes will do a lot, but, like, we're also just definitely going to burn, right? We're definitely going to burn, right? We're definitely going to burn? We do. Okay, it took a few, but we got it. Now, I think the Gliscor will come in here thinking it can get some easy health, so I actually want to flip turn as that Gliscor comes in to keep it low. Yep, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Somebody says my team gets rocked by Scarf Lando. That is so wrong. I don't, like, no, that's not correct at all. Let's, it's knocking time again. And it actually kills now. We could Pursuit this Gliscor. Are we insane? No, we're not that crazy. Dang. Let's go Mola again. Okay, we get you turned on. Fine. Also, this Gliscor does not have infinite protects. Like, this is an angle to stall this thing out. Toxic doesn't really matter that much to Mola, so I'm okay with that. Like, nothing on my opponent's team can just, they can't really do that much. So I'm just not really that concerned. Go for an Ice Spinner here. And let's go for a Rapid Spin now. Okay, Moltres comes in. We get burned. Fine. Not great, but fine. Okay, interesting. I think we can kill this thing with Hidden Power Ice, so let's do that. Okay, Aqua Jet, fine. And I don't think this has Defog. I think if you had it, you would have clicked it. Does Pursuit kill? Yes, it will. What do we do here? Let's Flamethrower. I don't think... Oh, wow, okay. I'm surprised to see the sucker come off there. I did not think that would happen, but it did. So be it. Let's... Koko is now our win con. Manectric is no longer our ticket. Okay, we're going to get our boots knocked. Not too big of an issue there. Get some good damage off with the flip turn. Let's go Koko, and I can actually U-turn out of here. Oh, wow, staying in. Do we get Pursuit Traps? No? Okay, so then I can just flip turn again. Yeah, that's the thing about AV Gambit. It kind of doesn't like just getting pivot spammed on. Pretty effective. Yeah, we can do that again. Let's just keep that up. Gliscor wants to come in this time. Fine. Do I go for the Pursuit Trap this time? I really want to. Let's do it. But should I? No. No, we don't need to. We're not really in a rush to kill this thing. Yeah. Go Mola here. And let's just flip turn. Gliscor comes in, great, good damage. Okay, now let's do it. If we get EQ'd, we get EQ'd. I don't think Gambit is crucial. But, like, then the Latios, though. How much did we do to Moltres? Not that much. Let's Pursuit. This is mostly done out of impatience, not a good play. But we got it, so it worked. But yeah, that wasn't a great play. I was just kind of tired of this, and I didn't want to wait for a long time as this. And no, that was not a sack. The Manectric did not sack. We used Manectric a lot early game to put pressure on the opponent's team, so don't even give me that. That's not how it went down. We can Sucker here. Yeah, it might have had low kick, so we can just shut that down quickly. Moltres. Yeah, we always just go Mola on this. U-turn, fine. Latios, Toxic, always. Draco does not kill. Luster Purge, fine. Yep, poisoned, good stuff. We can sack Treads here. Treads is not a Pokemon, really, at this point. We can go... Let's sack Molt. Bring that in, fine. Go Gambit here. And, you know, actually, based on how much this is taken from Toxic, I think our play... Yeah, our play is actually to Pursuit here, funny enough. Yeah, Defog, fine. Dead. And now we can win this game with Koko. Well, we could honestly win this game with Mola, but... Either way, win this game we will. Well, okay, let's wish here. Mega Manectric, more like Mega Garbage. Wow, that was clever. Alright, let's poison. Okay, we can flip turn. GG. Do we see the forfeit come out here? Yep, we do. Good. We keep getting matched against really low elo opponents, though. We've had like one player who was 1700s. Everybody else, so low. Somebody says, don't you ever fear getting sniped while streaming? Constantly. That's why on all the streams I have a delay. It's not a 2-minute delay. You're being dramatic. It's not that bad. But yeah, I do have a delay. I actually really like the idea of just leading Molt here and going for a Willow. So let's go for that. The Wellspring with the Misty Terrain is not good, though. Our way of dealing with Wellspring is status, so that's not good. And obviously, a Mamoswine with Thick Fat is really bad news for our Manectric here. Otherwise, Manectric is unopposed, though, so if we can chip, can't get enough of Mola. Okay, this is definitely someone who's a fan of mine. Maybe a stream sniper, not in the sense of they're watching the stream. I don't think one of my fans would do that, but potentially a sniper in the sense that they know my team. So we'll have to be aware of that possibility. Landra's going to start. We definitely want to scout, so I will go immediately into Mola. We get knocked, fine. Let's Toxic. Feeny comes in, reasonable. At this point, we're almost certainly going to see the Wellspring, so I'm going to go Manectric here. Worst case scenario, we get Moonblasted. Yeah, I figured the Wellspring would come in. We can Mega Evolve, intimidate this thing, and I think we want to just damage the Mamo, go for a Flamethrower. I don't think this thing will want to stay in and get really chipped in this matchup. That would just be odd to want to let that take. Okay, it's going to be Landorus coming in. Interesting. So let's take a look at Mola and see how much. So here's the weird thing. Mola, how much did Knockoff do? Knockoff did 18. So that's basically, we can make this. Okay, so that's not an offensive Landorus. So we can go HP Ice here. Okay, Lopunny's going to come in. Fine. Let's go Molt. Oh no, it will be protected from that. But okay, it's going to U-turn out. If the Wellspring comes in here, we do live in Ivy Cudgel and we can Will-O-Wisp, and that is exactly what we'll do. This was one of the calcs I considered when building this team, was that we don't die to this. Great. Moltres. Moltres, what? Come on. What are we doing, buddy? Okay. Let's go into this. At least we didn't get critical hit, and this time I'll Volt Switch. Yeah, that's bad. Actually, no. Let's cover one of the ground switches and let's go Aldo here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. What? Whoa, hold on. Okay. Jeez, all right. Let's go Gambit on this, I guess. Okay, it's going to SD. Probably we're about to get slapped with a superpower, so let's go Koko. If we get Ivy Cudgeled, we get Ivy Cudgeled. Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay. So we can kill some Lando here. It's not a good chance, though. Let's U-turn. If the Lando wants to stand. Okay, Lando decided it was not up for all that. Fair choice. Probably we got to start wearing down that Mamo. I think sadly that's one of our better angles at this point. So let's go into this so we can go for a flamethrower here. I didn't say I didn't say they were stream sniping in the way of like watching my moves. I specifically clarified that that was not what was going on. I said they might know the team. Like, as in, if they were watching the stream previously, they might know my sets, which we have to be aware of. Not that they were probably stream sniping. This Mon ain't that bad, TBH, El Mayo. Well, you do have a Mamo Swine, although the Mamo might be oblivious for Landorus Intimidate. Because if it wasn't, it would be a very obvious switch here. So I'm thinking that's what my opponent's sweating about. So I'm thinking here's what's going to happen. The Landorus is going to... Oh, okay. Mamo just immediately comes in. Ice Shard here. Banded set has a chance to kill. Let's go into Treads. I don't think the EQ comes off. Good. That's what we want to see. And that Ice Shard damage indicates that this is not banded at all. Not banded or anything of the sort. Let's Ice Spinner here. Okay. Pharaoh comes in. Fine. Let's... We can get up Rocks. Rocks look good. I'm going to, I think, just Earthquake here. Well, no. We want to spin immediately, honestly. We really don't want this thing getting hazards up. We can go Manectric again here. On the rock. Okay, knockoff, that's fine. As long as rocks don't come up, Manectric can come in many, many times. And Mamo's dead. That's one down. And we can go... Let's go Molt here. I don't think we're... Well, we might get Molt back up, but it invites the Wellspring too easily. So let's just fish for Flame Body. And we get it. Does that make up for what happened earlier? Maybe. I don't really know. Anyway, let's go in and we probably just U-turn here. Okay, Lopunny is Jolly. So we've confirmed this is a Jolly Lopunny, and we're going to U-turn ourselves. We can go into Manectric, and we, of course, just want to click Flamethrower. I think we're looking well positioned now. With the Mamo dead, seeing that set, that's really good. We definitely just Volt Switch here. Okay, Landorus, fine. We Hidden Power Ice this thing. This switching isn't really getting my opponent anything. Now that Mamo's dead, this switching really is not doing much for you. Yeah, we can go. Probably we go Koko here actually. And not Treads to cover the U-turn because we don't want to let the Wellspring come in for free. So I think Koko is the correct option here. Okay, it's just going to be a fake out. Fine. Return does not kill. So I think the correct play here is just U-turn. Okay, and Lopunny going to U-turn. Even Helmet, but it's not Helmet, but like no Pharaoh can kill us here. So that's fine. Okay, we U-turn. Totally okay. And we just go into Manectric and we can Volt Switch. It won't kill, but it'll do a lot. Okay, Pharaoh's going to come in again. And I believe we can probably now kill with Treads. Because Treads Ice Spinner did 22. We can also kill, I think, with Koko, Electrium. No, not guaranteed. So let's, actually probably just King Gambit Knock is the play, isn't it? Yeah, I think King Gambit Knock is probably the best way to go here. Because based on how much Treads did, this will absolutely kill. Okay, down goes the Pharaoh. Good. Yeah. The game that once looked so bad is now looking very well in our favor. And as I said, we don't want to ever let rocks go up. So we're immediately going to go into Treads. Okay, Landorus wants to defog. We're going to reset those rocks. EQ, totally fine. Manectric, Hidden Power Ice. This is the time of game where things are looking good. And we Volt Switch, or actually do we Rising Voltage here? No, it's not. We probably just Volt Switch. It's a little safer. Okay, and we can go into Koko. With the rocks damage included, that will definitely kill the Landorus. The thought process behind Taunt over Roost is that Taunt can block recovery, which has been helpful a few times, and it can block setup from menaces like Volcarona. Let's go Mola here, and we can just poison, start clicking Toxic on some stuff. Yeah, GG, they say. Yeah, it's not looking so good. Go for a Wish here. Protect is fine. Go for another Wish. We're totally okay to die to it. Actually, we would have been fine dying there, but we can protect. It didn't matter. I mean, Manectric came in and swept, so. Okay, GG. That was definitely a solid win. Could have gone downhill. So that was kind of our first encounter with a Wellspring, I think, this stream, and it went okay, so pretty good. I just wish we were facing some better opponents. Like, no offense, because we have faced some good people, but for the most part, we've been facing such, and actually, let me phrase, I don't even necessarily mean better opponents like players, but so low elo. But oh my gosh, never mind. We have an 1800s. Lock in. Okay. So, the plan is Pursuit Trapping the Blissey. If we do that, we're in serious business. I really like the look of Iron Treads here. It actually looks amazing. It's kind of hard to say with this team being just so chaotic. Like, I really don't know what my opponent's up to with this team. It looks insane. I think we have a good matchup, though. I want to lead with High-ELO because it can poison pretty much everything. And I just want to click Toxic immediately. Knock, I'm totally happy. Please hit, thank God. Okay, so yeah, poisoning the ground type is a great trade. Like, I will take that any day of the week. That Mola flip turn did 22. How much would a Treads Ice Spinner do here? So I actually think that's pretty good. I think we go Treads and we just click Ice Spinner immediately. Ground type dead. Really good start to this. I'm surprised. What? So like a Scarf Modest Earth Power would be bad here. I guess we can scout that with Mola. Now that Lando's dead, Mola's not as important. That is invested. I feel like you'd never switch it in on Treads if this was Meteor Beam, surely. Let's flip turn. If we get Meteor Beamed, great playing by my opponent. I mean, you're incredible. But actually, no, I think there's a better play here. I think we Wish. No, we want to flip turn on something coming in. I'm a little worried about giving this thing the corrosion, potentially, is my concern. So let's actually Wish. Oh, wow. That's a bold. We are facing a bold individual here. So hazards are scary, for sure. We can go... Could go King Gambit. Probably... Okay, no, I think I know the play. We flip turn into Treads here. I think that's best. And let's go for rocks. Oh, whoa! Dang, okay. We can spin here. Probably the... Oh, wow, I do not understand. Let it be known. Put it on the record that I do not understand my opponent one bit. They have confounded me with their playing at every step of the way. Let's go into Koko here, and just to make sure... Well, hold on. Do we have any calcs on this Glamora? We flip turned on it, right? We flip turned with Mola. It did what we'd expect of a 0 defense set. We actually got a max roll, or a near max roll. So we can, I believe, let me just double check this. Yeah, we can absolutely just Thunderbolt here and kill. Okay, fine. That That did kind of a lot, didn't it? Thunderbolt? No, that did a normal amount of damage. Let's taunt. Good. Okay, tried to teleport. Cool. Probably good a time as any to pop the Z, I would think. Well, I mean, I guess no worse next turn than this turn, so let's go for just a regular Thunderbolt first. Psywave. Wow, okay. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, sure. Why not? We can maybe U-turn into Kingambit here. I think that's solid. Let's do that. Glamora. Can Glamora come in and live a knockoff here? It does not have its item. Oh no, it does. It does. Yeah. Are we okay with letting the Toxic Spike up? Is another question. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. We could also Pursuit here. I think I like that best. Let's go for Pursuit. Okay, Blissey's going to stay in. Fine. We can go for a knock here. At this point, we are okay with letting the T-Spike come up. Okay, we knock the Blissey. Good stuff. And see, eventually this thing's going to get out of our grasp, but I think we can Iron Head it until then. Yeah, just stall out some soft boils until we get paralyzed. Fine, and now we go into Koko again. Now we go into Koko again. Not how I'd hoped that turned out, but I think we still have... I imagine Blissey will teleport here. It won't want to keep staying in because it'll just, it won't end up in any better of a position. Oh, it did just want to go for it again. Interesting. Okay, let's go Gambit on this then. Okay, like, yeah, that's interesting. We can Iron Head here. Or actually, no, because then the Glamora probably comes in. Let me go Manectric. I think that's fine. I expect the Glamora switch here. Yeah, okay, we see the teleport. So that's good. Probably we just go for Rising Voltage here. I want to see how much we're doing to Blissey with a Rising Voltage. Yeah, so we're going to Intimidate this Kartana, and we definitely kill it. So I don't really understand why the Kartana would come in here. I mean, a Leaf Blade critical hit would be devastating, but I don't think we play in fear of that. Yeah, I figured the Blissey would just come back in, and we can get a really good damage off on that. I think we just click it again. Just work on stalling out these soft boileds. That's going to be probably a fine way to win this game. And we can Volt Switch and then probably bring in, I'm going to say Koko. Looks good. Okay, and we have only 2 remaining. Good stuff. And let's go Manectric again. Okay, let's Volt Switch. We definitely don't want to get too chipped here. Yeah, the Toxic Spikes are definitely concerning, though. Let's go Kingambit, and let's go for a Pursuit here. I don't really know why they used up that soft boil. We can go for Pursuit. Okay, it looks like it's just going to port. Yep, that's fine. Goldango coming in. Let's Sucker. I don't understand what my opponent's doing. They've been playing this game like an absolute madman. Yeah, I do not understand what my opponent's doing. I could not begin to explain the mind of this individual. I believe we can let Koko go here. I think we just bring it in hard. Okay, fine. That's okay. And now we go for Rising Voltage. I think what we want to, above all, prevent is this Glamora just stacking hazards. So I'm okay in sacking Koko in the ultimate goal of making sure we don't get farmed. Okay, and we're going to kill the Blissey. Rising Voltage doing what Rising Voltage does. Happy to see that. Kartana comes in. Moltres here. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, don't know why the Pinsir comes in. I know Pinsir can't do anything to this. Stone Edge. Oh, I forgot about that. I think we're still okay, but I did forget about that, to be totally honest. I forgot it got Stone Edge. So we can Flamethrower and kill here. So I think we go for that. Yeah, and we're going to see the Glimmora get sacked, which is fine. And I think we Volt Switch, and then we bring in Mola. And this thing did switch up its moves earlier, right? I just want to make sure I'm not about to get hit with a Scarf. Yeah, Spikes, and then Earth Power. Okay, cool. So we're not going to get hit with a Scarf. If it's Custap Berry, it's Custap Berry. I really don't think it is. That would be terrible, though. Could you imagine? Oh, my God. We'll see. Oh, thank gosh, it's not Custap. That would have been tragic. We can go, yeah, we can just go into this here. Okay, and I think Flip Turn kills. No, it doesn't. We have to Toxic. So as long as we hit here, we're good. We hit, we're good. I think we Protect. And then I think we sack Mola. Actually, how much is Return doing? Do we even die to Return? We're not dying to Return, so I think we actually just no, but we might get critical hit. So let's think let's think this through. Yeah, we Protect and then we sack. Or do we Wish here? We Wish. That's the best play. Yeah, because now this Kartana. Well, actually, I guess a speed boosting set could be problematic, couldn't it? With that in mind, I think we go hard Manectric here. Because the only way we die then is, yeah, I think we go hard Manectric here. Only way we lose is a critical hit. Is a critical hit into it not being locked in. Okay, we get the healing. And it looks like based on that calc, that was a banded variant. GG. I have no idea why my opponent played the game that way. I have no idea why my opponent played the way they did. They threw away Goldengo for no reason. Against a Volt Turn team, their immediate answer was, let's sack the Landorus. They brought Glimmora in on an Iron Treads like that. I mean, I have no idea why my opponent played the way they did. Like, I guess it kind of almost worked, but I don't understand going gold. Like, I don't understand what my opponent was doing here. I'm kind of surprised they were in 1800. I don't mean to be like trash talking, but I'm just really confused by both this team and the way that game was played. But a good win to end on. We went 7-1, and we gained like 80 ELO, so we're ending with where we could probably be in 1800s next time. Unfortunately, Decay is a bit rough, and I don't have much time to play. I can maybe start doing a Natdex game here and there. Let's check and see where we're at on the ladder. My peak in Natdex has been like, I got to rank 2 at one point, but so we're like rank 38 right now, which is not too bad. Ladder is quite deflated. Toxic Ariados doing pretty well. Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, Mega Manectric did pretty well. I think we might be able to do better. I think we kind of just slapped on an Alo, Treads, Molt, Core. Although I feel like the Manectric did kind of need the time to break. I think we do want to put it on a bulkier team. So maybe this is just the best we can do with Manectric. Well, we can do a poll. I want to know if you guys are interested in a part 2. Oh, wait. No, poll. Let's see. My only concern with a part 2 is that we wouldn't actually be able to really change that much is my main concern. Like, what would the... Let's see. Votes are coming in. Seems like people generally, that's a really high percentage of yeses. Wow. But we'll see as they keep rolling in. What do you use for calcs? I use calc decks, and when I'm trying to run a more specific calc, I use the Pokemon Showdown calculator, which is right here. Why are so few votes? Only like 33 votes. We've got like 200 people in the stream. People love giving their opinions. Come on, give your opinions. Okay, looks like votes are in. We're going to have a part 2. So, okay, I'll add that to the list. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a great time. Thank you for the attendance. Please like the stream if you hadn't. I mean, maybe it doesn't matter anymore. I'm not really sure how that works. And if you haven't subbed, subscribe. That helps out a lot too. And yeah, so I'm going to not end the stream early today. We're going to end the stream right on time. We're going to end the stream in 3, 2,